Hey, y'all doing? It's Preacherman R&B, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91, and this time I'm doing another movie reviews, and this time I'm reviewing Bloodsport. What Bloodsport's about is about Frank Dukes. He's a captain in the army, and he's going to Hong Kong to compete in the Kumite. And what the Kumite is, it's this mixed martial arts tournament in various locations around the world, and people from all around the world come to fight in this tournament. Well, Frank Dukes is on leave, and he's planning to go to Hong Kong, but his superiors don't want him to go because he's too valuable to the army. If he gets hurt, they can't use him no more. So he runs away from the guy who's supposed to be taken to his superior, and he goes to the guy who trained him when he was a kid, his master, his Kadoshi. And his Kadoshi started training him because Frank and some other kids went into his house when Frank was little, and Frank was putting his sword back after the other kids was about to steal it, and his Kadoshi's son came and attacked him, and then Frank and his Kadoshi went to his parents, and his Kadoshi said he wanted him to help train his son. This is what Frank does, and the Kadoshi's son winds up dying, and Frank wants to take the Kadoshi's son's place to honor his Kadoshi, and he accepts this and trains Frank. Well, it shows a montage of Frank getting trained, and just like in Kickboxer, his Kadoshi put Frank on this machine to stretch him out. That way he could do a complete split. And in Kickboxer, they did the same thing with Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in that. And he's able to break out of it in this movie. He flexes up and is able to break the device, the contraption. Well, after this, Frank meets with his Kadoshi because he's dying, and he's telling him he's competing in the Kumite. And then Frank goes to Hong Kong, and when he goes to Hong Kong, he meets this guy named Ray Jackson. He's another American that's going to be in this Kumite. And they go and get registered, and Frank has to prove that he's the student of his Kadoshi because his Kadoshi has won the Kumite before. And he has to hit these bricks, and he tells them to pick which brick he wants to break, and they tell him the very bottom brick, but he can't break the bricks that are above that bottom brick. So he uses the fan, and he breaks the bottom brick without breaking the other ones, and he gets in the Kumite. Well, the first round of the Kumite is the first day of the fights, and Ray and Frank make it through the first day, and it shows a collage of all the fights, and it shows Frank and Ray and the other main character, Chun Lu, I think, that Frank winds up fighting at the end of this. And then after day one of the fights, Frank runs away from the two officers that are trying to take him back to the United States because they don't want him to get hurt. And one of the officers is played by Lawrence Fishburne, and this is a old movie because Lawrence Fishburne is very young in this movie. This might be the first movie he ever did. But anyway, they're chasing Frank through Hong Kong, and he gets away from him. Well, the second day of fights come, and Ray Jackson has to fight Shane Lee, I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, the guy who Frank has to fight at the end. Ray Jackson fights him and gets beat and put in the hospital, and this makes Frank furious, and then the guy who Frank has to fight at the end says he's next. Well, day 3 of the fights come, and Frank is in the semifinals, and he beats the guy he has to face. And then at the end of it, him and Sean Lee has to fight. And they fight, and during the fight, before the fight, Sean Lee's trainer gave him this powder capsule. He puts it in his shorts, and during the fight, Sean Lee's getting destroyed by Frank Dukes, and he smooshes up this capsule and throws it in Frank's eyes. Now, earlier in the movie, when it showed the thing of Frank getting trained, he got trained with blindfold. That way he can be in a fight when he can't see. And he uses this training to beat Sean Lee and defeats him and makes him quit. And that's all that really happened on this movie. My question for y'all is, have y'all ever watched Bloodsport? And if y'all ever did, what did y'all like about it? As always, Preacher Man RB signing out. Don't forget to use awesome. This has been another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.